Welcome back to Balancing Acts. We're talking with Alison Tugwell about how you can use a book to grow your business and monetize additional revenue streams. So, Alison, there are probably a number of ways you can use a book to grow your business. Can you give us maybe the top two or three ways that would be helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite way of growing your business through your book is a super simple one, which is to create an irresistible opt-in at the very beginning of your book. Now, thinking about what could be some kind of juicy inclusions that would be a next step for people reading your book is always really great to think about even before you start writing it. And it's always an opportunity if you have to like cut something out of the book and the editing process later on down the line, you can always be like, well, maybe this might be actually really cool for someone to have afterwards. So for example, you might be creating a video that might explain a process or an interview that you're doing maybe with somebody that you mention in the book, like another thought leader in the field. It could be an opportunity for you to, like, let's just say for you, Linda, since you are doing, you do one-page business plans, and maybe if your book is on the one-page business plan, perhaps inviting people to a training where you actually help them create their own one-page business plan would be a phenomenal opportunity for someone that would be a good fit for you to work with as a client. Okay, so what this might look like in a published book, and maybe you've seen it before when you're flipping through. I'll show you two examples here of what this could look like. This is my book, Word Awakening. And where you want to put this is right in the first couple of pages of the book. And so I have something called bonus bits, and I refer to it throughout the book for somebody to like, hey, this is going to be a little bonus bit. If you want to see this video that I'm referring to, if you want to see this interview, go here. And it's a really simple URL, wordawakeningbook.com/bonus, so that they can go there. They put their name and email address in, and then they get directed to a page where they get all of these templates and videos and bonuses that I refer to throughout the book. The other one that I'll show you is Chandler Bolts of Self-Publishing School. He's got one here. This is his title page, and he actually has it on the very next page in a double spread. So as you can see here, he doesn't waste any time in getting to that opt-in, because unfortunately 80% of people won't actually read your entire book cover to cover. So you want to grab their attention in the very first few pages. So that's my favorite way of growing your business. Once they're on your email list, you can always email them opportunities to connect with you, invite people to training, invite people to buy something, or join you at an online event and things like that. So once they are on your list, they're your customers. If they're just purchasing your book on Amazon, they're actually Amazon's customers. So you want to make sure, even though you're getting the royalty from it, you're not necessarily getting their email address. So you really want to capture their contact information.
Well, that's an eye opener. I'm a voracious reader. I buy a ton of books. And now I understand why I get all these links for these bonus things in the book, because, right, they're getting me on their list.
Yep.
That's really fascinating. Thank you for sharing that. So another thing, as a CPA, I work with business owners in my accounting practice, not just a tax practice. We take a focus of a holistic look on how your business is doing, how you're growing, how taxes impacted, but just all the different things a business owner has to balance. One really common theme is if you rely on one of anything, one customer, one product, one revenue stream, that can be a challenge for a business owner, especially when the market changes. So when we write a book, we think, okay, book sale. But as you just pointed out, that's Amazon's customer. So how can you monetize your book for multiple revenue streams?
Yeah, I would say a book is really just the beginning of your sales and marketing plan. It is a bite-size opt-in, an opportunity for a reader to really connect with you and start to take action in their own lives to solving the problem that you solve. So I would say the the book can lead to, like I mentioned, trainings that then invite people to a high ticket program that you might offer. That's my favorite way of monetizing through books. So I'm just going to mention that one because that is, I think, the best case scenario there. There's also, if you want to go the speaking route, the book itself and the book writing process could create a structure, as in the structure kind of your book. And you can take either one of the chapters, or you can take, condense that, the book outline or the chapter structure into a talk, where you can take that to the stage and get people to, book yourself speaking gigs in that way too. So you can kind of do both. And I'd say diversifying where people can find you is great. You can start with kind of one channel where you might have, a Facebook page and a Facebook business page, and you might actually do some ads there. Once you do your book launch there, you might do some Amazon ads, the AMS ads, they call them, to get people to buy the book through Amazon. And then there's also a couple of other kind of industry specific sites like BookBub, as well, that you can use to kind of create ads and distribute to different platforms. So I would say a diversified marketing strategy is aligned with kind of the diversified income streams as well. So yeah, I would say, as a lead into a high ticket service that you offer, or to get you speaking opportunities, and really a byline for speaking opportunities. You can book high-end speaking opportunities from that. And a lot of people that are booking speakers, they look to see if this person's a published author. So if you want to do speaking, a book is a great way of, getting your name out there as an authority figure in your field.
You mentioned high ticket offers a couple of times, and not everyone will know what that means. Can you tell us, so what is a high ticket offer, high value offer? What does that actually mean?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really depends kind of, price point, what high ticket really means to you and your industry. But I would say it is a offer or a service. What you're providing is either a one-to-one, so it's a consulting opportunity, or what we call like one-to-many. So maybe it's a group coaching program of some way, shape, or form, a formalized program or service that you're taking either one or more clients through. And this can range from, if a book is like a low ticket, that's going to be in the tens of dollars. So maybe it's like a $20 book. And you kind of want to think of it in terms of like a 10x. So a mid-ticket offer might be 10x your book. So it could be, a $199 course that someone's going through, what we call evergreen, which, you create the course once and you give someone a login and they go through that course without a lot of your time or energy to supporting there. And then a high ticket could look like a $2,000 program where you might be working one-on-one with that customer or with some additional support there. So I kind of like to think of it in 10x of pricing models based on that. So hopefully
I see. And so the more your book is about your expertise or professional services, or signature process, as you mentioned, the more likely you are to try to use that book to promote this. It's not only high ticket in price, it's also supposed to be high value to your prospect, right? That what the outcome your customer is going to get is going to help your customer have a transformation or success. Thank you.
yeah.
Can we talk about, maybe you mentioned securing speaking engagements. What would be an example of how you could secure a speaking engagement using your book?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are a lot of amazing events that are, every day happening in your industry. And I think it's a really good thing, if you're not already, to really understand what events are applicable to your customer, where your customer might go, and to start going to those events as a consumer first. or at least perusing the website, getting on the email list, really getting notified about the types of events and your particular industry. And Linda, I know you're great at that, at being involved in different organizations that put on these amazing conferences for women in business. And I think you're such a great example of just giving first, getting involved in an organization that puts on these awesome events. And then, you become a thought leader in that circle as well. So I'd say, look first on where your customer is showing up for these different events. And I also think that going really niche. So if you are serving people on, let's just say, I'll just take my, former industry or my industry, it's like the creative entrepreneurs. They might be showing up at different like niche events in their city. So for example, there's an organization called Creative Mornings, and Creative Mornings takes place in 200 cities all around the world. But there might be a chapter in your city, right, where it's kind of small and it's niche, and you kind of get to know some of the people in your industry, but also in your city. And I think some of the niche events really shouldn't be overlooked. And that is a great way of getting your foot in the door. So either joining an organization that has events, volunteering at an event. I volunteered at a TEDx event. So I can start to get some of the organizers' names and also just kind of get a lay of the land for how that worked in my city. And now I have great contacts if I want to end up doing a TEDx talk, which I would love to do someday. So get involved in your local area and start meeting the people that are like niche first, and just getting your like feet wet with kind of a niche or smaller event that you can then kind of go from there and lead up to, larger events and get some testimonials from organizers that have worked with you, that have heard you speak, and getting credibility there. And sometimes that can be the first payment, right? Is like, you know what? I'm gonna, forego the speaker fee in return for a great, testimonial from you, and maybe you introducing me to, someone else in the industry or that kind of thing too.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we're going to get ready to take a commercial break in a moment, but I would just want to summarize that, this book, it can be an introduction, it can be a living business card. And as Alison was just talking about, getting involved in local organizations before you expect something, before you try to sell something, just giving back, because that's building relationships with people who want to do business with you. Thank you, Alison. And when we come back, we'll talk about marketing and promotion when it comes to your book.